We cannot allow ourselves to lessen efforts because racism and intolerance are still very much alive, and as reports show us, are in fact on the rise in Europe.
This study session is different from the other because this is a study session which we are celebrating the anniversary of 10 years of the Rexy campaign, and we target this city. And how you can see from our posters, the logo of our posters are Roma, 10 million Roma, 10 million European citizens. Why we choose this logo is that is the fact that the Roma are the biggest minority in Europe, and with this kind of campaign we want to raise the awareness that still today in Europe there is anti-Gypsyism, and the racism and the xenophobia is related to the countries. And I hope that the young people with this campaign, the Roma young people, will show to all publicity that we are raising the questions, and that we the Roma, we are also human beings and we are equal like the others.
L'histoire de Ferip, c'est assez long à raconter. Au début, on avait beaucoup de problèmes, on s'est retrouvés à l'année 96 à Budapest. Alors, c'était la première activité internationale que je fais avec des Roms. Et pour moi, c'était découvrir quelque chose de nouveau, avoir les contacts avec des autres Roms de l'Europe et changer des idées. Il y avait beaucoup de motivation. Tout le monde voulait faire quelque chose, mais on avait trouvé quelques handicaps sur ça.
First, I knew about it as a university student and an organization that was organizing programs and trying to mobilize Roma youth in Europe. As a Roma university student, I followed their work, but not only because it was a great initiative, but also because it was one of the only ones. And of course there were in Eastern Europe especially, there were scholarships for Roma, and I always missed the sort of network of these people. So Filip is the first one who is trying to basically put us all together and trying to connect Roma students in Europe, which is having 10 years of experience of this work. I think it's going to be a very important actor in the next few years in the Roma movements, not only because there is a generation change taking place at the moment in Roma politics on the European level, and I think on the local level as well, but also because this is the only organization at the moment who has the background to act politically on the political level. I was a little bit disappointed, but to learn, for example, that in any youth-related issues that come up in European politics, there is a very little voice of Roma youth. So probably this is going to be the organization who brings them, who grows to the role of any other political big organizations now, like the European Roma Forum or the members of the European Parliament.
Il y a quelque chose qu'il veut changer, ça sera à moitié, et les personnes qui ne sont pas du tout d'accord avec les programmes, ils restent dans des cercles. On a gagné beaucoup de choses en ces moments. Parce que au début, on avait beaucoup de problèmes pour commencer avec cette organisation. On avait d'un côté le problème d'être jeune. Parce que bon, dans notre organisation sociale, être jeune, avant ça signifiait avoir pas la possibilité de donner ton avis. De notre côté, on avait les problèmes d'identité. Parce que quand on s'est retrouvés tous ensemble, les Roms de différents pays, il y avait quelqu'un qui parlait romanais et quelqu'un qui parlait pas romanais. Et au début, c'était difficile de se reconnaître tous comme le même peuple. Et aussi, il y avait beaucoup de femmes. Alors les femmes, il y avait un double handicap, être jeune et être femme. Et à ce moment, on peut dire qu'on a tous un sens d'unité, de peuple. On dira qu'on a le sens de la Romipen. C'est une organisation qui est absolument indépendante, qui peut donner son avis sur ce qu'il veut, et on ne doit pas répondre à aucune organisation de personnes âgées, quoi. D'autre côté, c'est une organisation qu'il y a beaucoup de femmes, et la preuve de ce progrès des femmes, c'est que le président de FERIP, c'est une jeune femme.
De plus en plus de jeunes Roms sont engagés, ont envie de travailler dans leur communauté. Donc il est important que des associations comme FERIP existent pour leur venir en aide, pour les soutenir, pour les aider à créer des projets.
I have to tell to the young Roma people that we are a community, a great community in all of Europe. Sintis, Calais, Roma people, that we have a common beginning. We are the same, we have the same blood, the same language with dialects, and we have to converse all of it with a good purpose, with a good power that I think we will accomplish it. And also to the non-Roma people, I think that the respect to the Roma people and the Roma people to the respect to the non-Roma people, it's a quite important aspect to trust, to share, and one more time to respect.
Ay, ahora que yo sé leer, los libros a mí me han engañado, lo voy a tener que romper.
Well, I think I learned a little bit more about the local influences on Roma culture and how they are able to emulate, to mix together their own Roma culture with the culture of the countries where the people inhabit concretely. And I think an event like this is really a step towards educating both sides about people opening to each other and learning about each other.
I am expecting them to be very committed, like they are. I am expecting them to evaluate both education but also our identity, which means Romani culture, language and our cultural heritage. Because if you become very well educated, and even if you get a good position, high-level position on national or international level, but if you are forgetting your own identity, then there is no purpose anymore. We doesn't have any Roma anymore. You can be who you ever can and who you ever want, but it's not anymore Roma policy. This is why I am asking from the FERIP youth and all the European Roma youth to be very strongly committed into promoting their own people's rights, but also evaluating our past and our cultural heritage.
Niña, que tu bandera que tú sabes lo que tiene, mira niña.
in all cultures, in majority and minority cultures, the young people will always change system and they will always take their place. And to find the balance that you have to preserve your own culture and fight for preserving your own culture, and at the same time trying also to change some things. It's not easy. And so sometimes Roma women or Roma young people, they can feel that they are not only discriminated by the majority, but sometimes also they feel that they are not at all understood by their own community. So it's kind of a double challenge, but I'm sure you will make it.
First of all, I think that's very important that young Roma are taking initiative for themselves. What I see is that they are taking also responsibility for the Roma community, and I would say on the one hand it's good because the ones I've seen are very competent and are also very competent for the whole community, but on the other hand they should not forget that they are still young and should still keep a space for hope and not take too much responsibility for everything.
I've known FERIP since it started about 10 years ago or so. I mean, the difference is, first of all, that it's a youth organization at pan-European level, and there are not so many. And the second point, I think it's one of the most solid, long-lasting 10 years already, and well-structured, well-organized and solid organization, I would say. Really representing the youth from European countries. What I would say related to the Roma movement in particular, I know that now we have a large number of young Roma, very well educated, well prepared and able to take the lead and to work differently from their elder colleagues. And I very much hope that they will have a possibility in the coming, as soon as possible, to take the lead of the Roma movement, because it's not to say that the elder people were not good enough. They did a great job, but now, I mean, it would be a pity if this generation of people who are better prepared, different, able to use the methods, the same methods as the majority, were not able to access quickly the possibility to lead.
But what I see in my work every month, every year, more and more, there are young Roma people who are participating at the European level already in many activities.
The young Roma nowadays are very active. Moreover, they are supported by many educational background. They have experience, they can organize things, and they are active. I believe that the youth is the future, and our youth is quite good and active.
Sabe politica, sabe puci bavaglianela a menge ternero menge ki Europa. Soro daka menlenda tekeren, suskesti romane programe. Ama koborsi astardoakva puci beros, vasi punto prasha.
Pour ma part, et l'expérience que moi j'ai depuis 20 ans, je dis non, les jeunes ne sont pas préparés aujourd'hui. Ils ont certainement beaucoup de motivation, beaucoup d'idées, mais il leur manque aujourd'hui l'expérience, il leur manque la capacité de réfléchir, de bien construire les projets, et donc je pense que FERIP ou d'autres associations ont leur place pour justement aider les jeunes.
Et aussi, on a fait une chose que je crois que c'est très important, et c'est prendre en considération la question de la formation.
I think FERUP is playing a very important role because there is a need for trainings, there is a need of distribution of information. There is capable Roma youth, but there is a huge lack of information. What are our rights? Who are the politically important actors? What kind of treaties, charters, international instructions and regulations has been given towards human rights, minority rights and in particular Roma rights? And who is giving this information if not FERUP? So FERUP is playing a very important role in distributing the information, the channels of how to act and what are our rights.
That if you mainstream everything, it could mean everything and nothing, because it might lack then positive action. And I think it has to be a twofold strategy. Of course, the colleague who said we have to be careful, if I understood him right, not to be in a corner, he is totally 100% right, in my view. But at the same time, we have also to point to the specificity and to find a place, a special environment where we can provide for special action, where we can provide for special funds.
Representative of Roma youth, and I feel a lot of potential to change the situation by contributing to this process maybe a little bit. And also I constantly meeting up a lot of potential Roma youngsters who are clever, who are educated enough and who are eager to change the situation in their communities.
There is an openness now in European and local politics towards Roma politicians, Roma representatives. There is a need to bring these new faces into the picture and their ideas. So while in the past it was much more about faces and not real action, I think this new generation is ready to, or I think this new generation understands that it's not enough anymore to represent our community within the Roma circles, but there is a huge step that has to be made towards mainstream politics. And I think all of us realized that real changes can be only brought along by playing the rules of the mainstream politics.
Parce que le problème, j'allais dire le plus important aujourd'hui, c'est que le problème des communautés roms se place au niveau politique. Et on se rend compte qu'aujourd'hui, sur le plan politique, les choses sont de plus en plus difficiles et compliquées. Et quand on est jeune, motivé et certainement avec pleine capacité, il y a un niveau sur lequel les jeunes aujourd'hui ont un peu de difficultés.
The RECTI campaign that will begin from the next year to reflect the mainstream needs of the Roma reality.
I must say that I'm very pleased to have this context and these activities, and that we have had not only this activity, but this is just a tradition now for more than 10 years of activities together with FERIP, and we foresee to continue that in our new campaign, All Different, All Equal 2006, and I'm sure that we'll have FERIP as one of our successful partners at our side and being involved, and we are committed to work together with FERIP.
Well, more and more organizations, especially at international level, are speaking about youth Roma participation. If 10 years ago nobody was considering the Roma youth as actor which can be involved in policy making, in decision making, today we can say that concretely the European Roma and Travelers Forum has FERIP as one of its founding members. In the Roma decade, there is a Roma initiative as well. And there is awareness among almost all international organizations, institutions and programs that Roma youth should be also priority among all other fields that they include in their work.
Les jeunes doivent surtout penser qu'aujourd'hui, quand on travaille en faveur de la communauté rome, on doit toujours réfléchir réfléchir au projet sur 10 ou 15 ans. Lorsqu'on travaille dans la communauté rome, ou comme moi dans une communauté gens du voyage, on ne travaille pas pour soi, on travaille pour un peuple, et donc ça a des conséquences culturelles, politiques, religieuses, économiques très importantes. Donc il faut, les projets qu'on monte et tout ce qu'on va faire avec la communauté rome, ça a un impact sur tout un tas de choses, donc il faut faire très attention.
I have a message for young Roma people and for the young non-Roma people. We managed to achieve the recognition of the Roma youth issue, which is very important, and we managed also to create this spirit of unity, and we also managed to provide them with lots of competencies. So from now on, what is the most important, I think, is that they work towards more active participation at all levels. The young Roma are not the future, they are the present. Tomorrow will be what we are going to do from it today.